जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारे। जय जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारे। जय जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे। नीताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् दिव्यांग्रेस ऐसे भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवचकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशतश्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। राम राम हरे हरे। जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिनिष्ठित इसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11 and text number 22. प्रहवाभिवादनाश्लेष करस्पर्शस्मिते क्षणे आश्वासचाश्वपाकेभ्यो वरश्चाभिमतेर्विभुः। प्रहवाभिवादनाश्लेष करस्पर्शस्मिते क्षणे आश्वस्य चाश्वपाकेभ्यो वरश्चाभिमतेर्विभुः। प्रहवाभिवादनाश्लेष करस्पर्शस्मिते क्षणः आश्वस्य चाश्वपाकेभ्यो वरश्चाभिमतेर्विभुः। Mataji's translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances, and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in rank. Purport. To receive the Lord Sri Krishna, there were all grades of population, beginning from Vasudev, Ugrasen, and Gargamuni, the father, grandfather, and teacher, down to the prostitutes and chandalas who are accustomed to eat dogs. And every one of them was properly greeted by the Lord in terms of ranks and position. As pure living entities, all are the separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and thus no one is alien by his eternal relation. Such pure living entities are graded differently in terms of contaminations of modes of material nature. But the Lord is equally affectionate to all his parts and parcels. Despite material gradations, he descends only to recall these materialistic living beings back to his kingdom. An intelligent person takes advantage of this facility offered by the personality of Godhead to all living entities. No one is rejected by the Lord from the kingdom of God, and it remains with the living beings to accept this or not. चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने च नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे Hare Krishna. One of the most important points mentioned in the purport, that Krishna never discriminates. He is all merciful. Sometimes many people say your God is cruel. He gives mercy only to Brahmanas or Kshatriyas. He does not even look at the Shudras. Here in this verse it is mentioned, even up to Chandalas and the prostitutes, Krishna is ready to give his mercy. So Krishna doesn't discriminate. There is no discrimination. Krishna is like a rain. When the rain falls from the clouds, it does not discriminate whether it is a poor man's house or rich man's house. Rain pours everywhere, just like a sun rays. Sun shines in the sky and the rays reaches to everyone. Sun wants to give his energy to everyone, regardless of whether you belong to a poor family, rich family, educated, uneducated, it doesn't matter. But it is up to us. If you close your windows and doors and still you say that there is no sun, then it's our fault. But God is ready to give his mercy to everyone. So Krishna is all merciful. Although in Kali Yuga the jivas, they are not more inclined toward the spirituality, toward God consciousness, but Krishna on his own, he extends himself to give his mercy to all living entities. And therefore he sends his parshads, agents, his devotees in 5 forms. The first is Holy Dham, then Prasad, the deities, and then Holy Dham, devotees, and most important for today, holy rivers. So Krishna wants to extend himself by these 5 ways so that the jivas can become free from contamination and can reach to Krishna. So today we will focus more on these rivers, because today is also Ganga Puja Day. So we will discuss the 7 holy rivers of India. Sri Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. These are the 7 most holy rivers mentioned in the Vedas and also the Puranas. So we'll try to discuss a little bit about these 7 holy rivers. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the mountains are my bones, the camels, horses and mules are my nails, the trees are my hair, the different varieties of birds, they are my artistic sense. And he says, the rivers are my veins. Just like if you see this body, and if you see the anatomy of the body, you'll find all the blood veins are spread everywhere. Practically all over the body there are millions, like blood cells or blood veins. So similarly, Krishna is so merciful, is so kind. If you see the Bharat Varsha, all these rivers are spread everywhere like a blood veins of blood veins of the body of India, isn't it? Everywhere. All the states, they are having at least one or two main rivers, or at least the tributaries of the main rivers. So in this way, Krishna is present everywhere in the form of these rivers. If you see Mother Ganga, she springs from Himalaya and she covers Uttarakhand, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and finally she enters into Bangladesh. When she enters into Bangladesh, her name changes. She becomes Padma. She is Ganga, but she when enters in Bangladesh, she becomes Padma. Yamuna, she exactly flows parallel to parallel to Ganga, exactly parallel, but just below. She also starts from Himalaya, and then she covers Uttarakhand, Haryana, and extra Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, and finally at Prayag, she merges into Ganga. Narmada, she springs from Amarkantak, Madhya Pradesh, and then she flows towards Gujarat and finally ends at Arabian Sea. In Maharashtra, Godavari, she starts from Nashik and she covers Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and finally merges into Bay of Bengal. In Maharashtra, there are two more rivers, and most important is Krishna. She also covers Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra. In South India, we have Kaveri. She starts from Karnataka and she covers Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And her tributaries, there are three tributaries of Kaveri: the Bhavani, Kabini, and Sujoti. These three main rivers, they cover Kerala. Mahanadi and her tributaries, they cover Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Then in Madhya Pradesh, we have one more river, that is Sona River. She flows towards east. And in Rajasthan, there are very less rivers, but there is one or two main river, and there are small rivers. One is a Chambal. But this Chambal also is an expansion of Jamuna. She is a tributary of Jamuna. She flows from Jamuna, then Madhya Pradesh, and then enters into Rajasthan. Then the top north part and the northwest, like Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Punjab, these three states are covered by 5 rivers. They are, and all these 5 rivers are mentioned in the Vedas and the Puranas. These 5 rivers are Vipasa. Previously it was known as Vyasa Nadi. The second is Satlaj, very famous. See, Satlaj is called in Rigveda Iravata. Satlaj is called Shatadru. And then Ravi, she was called Iravat. And Chenab, she was called Askini in Rigvedas. And Jhelam was called Vitasta. So all these 5 rivers start from Himalaya and covers Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and finally enters into Pakistan. And there is one very important river, Sindhu. She starts from Mansarovar, Kailash, Mansarovar, Himalaya, and she flows from Tibet to Kashmir, and finally from Kashmir she enters into Pakistan. And amazing, she flows exactly from the center of the Pakistan, from north to south. She covers the whole Pakistan. She purifies the whole Pakistan. Amazing. Krishna's mercy is unending. Such a huge river. Indus, Sindhu river. Such a huge, amazing blessings. And in the northeast, we have Brahmaputra, son of Brahma. She is the only male river. Also, Sona also is a male river. Others are female. So the Brahmaputra starts from, again, Himalaya, and flows in China and directly enters in India in Arunachal Pradesh. So she covers Arunachal Pradesh, 60% of Arunachal Pradesh, and takes a U-turn and then enters into Assam. And the major part of the Assam is covered by Brahmaputra. And then she enters in Meghalaya. And after Meghalaya, then she enters in Bangladesh. And the remaining northeast states like Manipur, Mizoram, there are Barak and other rivers, Manipur River, Barak River, they cover the northeast states. So in Bangladesh, the Barak River enters from the east, Brahmaputra enters from the northeast, and Ganga, Padma rivers enters from west. And amazing, all these three rivers and their tributaries, they inundate the whole Bangladesh, fully complete, unlimited water in Bangladesh. So in this way, and of course there are many rivers also, small tributaries. So in this way, the whole Bharat Varsha is covered by these holy rivers. So Krishna is so kind. Even if people are so sinful, and these glories, benedictions and blessings of Ganga and other rivers, they are really true. It's not that someone says, even if you commit sinful acts throughout your life, just by taking bath in Ganga and you become purified. Yes, sir, you become purified because you don't understand these kindness and compassion of these rivers and Krishna's blessings. So, but sometimes you find there are some contradictions, some confusion. Just like, if you go to South India and then if you take bath in Kaveri, the glories of Kaveri says that Kaveri is greater than Ganga, Jamuna and other rivers. And if you go to Amarkantak, amazing. Narmada, if you take bath in Narmada, it says that Narmada is the highest. She is better than Ganga, she is better than Jamuna, she is better than all the rivers. Even if you go to Pandharpur, Chandrabhaga, the glories of Chandrabhaga says that she is better than all the rivers. And what to speak of Ganga? Ganga, they always is better than others. So how to understand this? Actually, absolutely there is no confusion. There is no contradictions. It's very easy to understand. Krishna is so kind. He is so merciful. He knew, Krishna knows, at least nowadays people are traveling because there are airplanes and trains. They are traveling from one place to another place. So now if you want to take bath in Sindhu, will you go to Pakistan? No. So Krishna is so kind. Every single river is glorified like she is the best. And even if just take bath in, suppose someone is Tamil Nadu, takes bath in Kaveri, that Kaveri, one river is enough to give you sufficient blessings and the blessings of all other rivers also. It is not that now you took bath in Kaveri, but you still miss Saraswati and Sindhu, other rivers. No. Just by taking bath in Kaveri, you got the blessings of all the rivers. And therefore, suppose someone is taking bath in Narmada, enough. Now you have taken bath even in Ganga, because this Narmada is better than Ganga, is better than Kaveri and all other things. That means nearest is the holiest. Krishna says there is no need to travel. Whatever is the holiest place near to you, that is the holiest. Nearest is the holiest. Whichever place is close to you, whichever river is close to you, just be satisfied with that. This is our Vedic culture. So how to understand this? Although there is no difference, there is no river superior to each other, but still, technically, there is a difference. What is that difference? I will not go to Yamuna, I will first explain what is mentioned in the Shastra. Just like there are 4 yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga, the process of attaining God is Kritaya Dhyayato Vishnu, means meditation of Vishnu. In Treta Yuga Tretayam yajito makher. Yajna, elaborate, yajnas. And Dwapare Paricharyayam, deity worship in the big temples. Kalotad Hari Kirtanat. In Kali Yuga, only Harinam. Although meditation, yajna, deity worship, and holy name, chanting holy name, all are same, equal. But as per the yugas, their priorities are different. In Kali Yuga, holy name has more potency. Satya Yuga also there was a holy name. Treta Yuga also was there is holy name. But the Yuga Dharma recommended process was different. For Kali Yuga is a holy name. Just like in Udupi, they have Paryaya system. How many mathas are there in Udupi, Sri Krishna Math? How many math? 8 math. And per math have 3 years, 4 years Paryaya, 2 years Paryaya. So each mathadisha, in charge of the math, he becomes in charge of the 2 years of this Sri Krishna Udupi math. All are equal. All 8 ashrams, the mathas have equal rights, adhikar. But during that Paryaya period, that particular matha becomes the in charge. Similarly, all the rivers, they are equally important, equally glorious. But for Kali Yuga, Ganga Mahi is most recommended. And she is the prime minister or a president for Kali Yuga. She is the Paryaya is given to Ganga for Kali Yuga. Therefore, although there are no differences in the rivers, but Ganga is in charge of Kali Yuga. Badrinath was in Satya Yuga. Rameshwaram in Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Dwarka. Jagannath Puri, Daru Brahma. And Jagannath Puri is a dham for Kali Yuga. So Yuga Dharma is chanting of the holy name. In Kali Yuga, the deities are Jagannath Swami and river is Ganga Mai. So this is the process in Kali Yuga. Although there is no difference, but still technically because of the Kali Yuga, these 3 personalities are given more importance. Jagannath Swami deities, holy name Hare Krishna mantra and Ganga Mai. So the first river is Saraswati. Now, actually Saraswati still exists, but a very short distance. So Saraswati is mentioned in the Ruga Veda and also in Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear that Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva was writing all the literatures on the bank of Saraswati. Ganesh also was there at the bank of Saraswati. Then Narad Muni also came to meet him. So Saraswati comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam and also Ruga Veda. But she flows very short distance in Himalayas and then she merges into Alakananda. And again she rises in Prayag. There is a Milan, Sangam of Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati. Of course, some modern geographers say that Saraswati is still in the form of some river they mention. But we don't care because we believe in Shastras. So whatever their research may be true, may not be true. So Saraswati, according to them, she flows between Satluj and Yamuna. That means this river, present river, which is flowing in now Punjab and Rajasthan, that is Saraswati. We don't care. So the second river is Narmada. Narmada is considered to be Shiva Putri, daughter of Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva, when he was in a deep meditation at Amarkantaka mountains, he started sweating. So all his sweat was collected in one small pond. And when the sweat started flowing, that became Mother Narmada. So Narmada is Shiva Putri. So she starts from Amarkantak and then flows towards Gujarat and finally ends at Arabian Sea. there are more than 600 million ghats on Narmada in Amarkantak itself. We may not say it, but the Shastra says this. Narmada has more than 600 million ghats in just Amarkantak. Kartaviri Arjun, he ruled Mahishmati. That Mahishmati also was on the bank of Narmada. The third is Godavari. Beautiful river. One time, Lord Ganesha, Ganapati, to achieve some particular task, he took a form of a cow and he went to the ashram of Gautam Rishi. And the cow started eating the crops. So Gautam Rishi became a little annoyed. And he just threw one kusha grass towards the cow. That kusha grass hit the cow. And immediately cow fell dead. So now he became shocked. He said, what had happened? I have committed the most heinous act, sinful act of killing cow. So as a repentance, as an atonement, he started performing, doing a circumambulation of Brahmagiri, parikrama of Brahmagiri mountain. Along with doing that parikrama, he also prayed to Shiva. So finally Shiva appeared in front of Gautam Rishi. And then he said, my dear Shiva, please summon Ganga Mai here. So on the request of Gautam Rishi, Ganga Mai was summoned. And then Ganga Mai came. Lord Shiva said, okay, Ganga, you stay here. But then she said, no, on one condition I want to stay here. You also should stay here. So Lord Shiva agreed. And Lord Shiva also manifested himself as a Trambakeshwar Mahadev, one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. So that Trambakeshwar Mahadev is in Nashik, Trambakeshwar. And previously this river was known as Gautami Ganga or a Dakshin Ganga. Later on this name came Godavari. So the Godavari starts from Nashik, Trambakeshwar and then flows towards Chhattisgarh, Telangana. In Andhra, she is really huge. We also have the pastimes of the famous pastime talk between Ramananda Roy and Mahaprabhu Chaitanya on the bank of Godavari at Kuhur, Rajamundri. Lord Ramachandra along with Sita Mai, Lakshman, he performed many pastimes. He stayed on the banks of Godavari for many, many years. So in this way, Godavari is glorified in all the literatures. It is mentioned that whoever takes bath in Godavari, he gets imperial prosperities, unending wealth. So this Godavari river flows in Maharashtra. And the fourth is Kaveri, Prabhu's place, Tamil Nadu. So Kaveri originates at Brahmagiri hill at Kodagu in Karnataka. So she flows from Karnataka and finally her main course is in Tamil Nadu and then finally ends at Bay of Bengal. So one time Agastya Rishi, he went to Kailash mountain and he started doing tapasya for the pleasure of Lord Shiva. So then next to Agastya Muni, he saw there was a Kaveri lady, goddess Kaveri. So Shiva became pleased, Shiva appeared. He said, what do you want? So then he said, please give me a power, some spiritual strength. What for? I want to crush Vindhya mountain and I also want to establish a holy place in India. So Shiva gave benedictions. And so immediately Lord Shiva transformed goddess Kaveri into a river and put that water into the water pot of Agastya Rishi. So when Agastya Rishi was coming back from the Kailash mountain, there was one demon, his name was Crunch. He took a form of a mountain to create a hindrance in the path of Agastya Rishi. So Agastya Rishi took out some water, 2-3 drops from the Kamandalu, threw down the mountain, threw down this Rakshasa Karanch, and cursed him. Let you remain a mountain forever. You will never get your body back. So even today also, that mountain is still there. The Rakshasa is still there in the form of a mountain. And afterwards, Agastya Rishi came to South India. At one place, he was just started in meditation. And so on the order of Indra, Ganesha took a form of a crow, and he flew, and he sat on the water pot, and he made it upside down. So all the water started flowing. As the water started flowing, that became Mother Kaveri, and this way Mother Kaveri from Karnataka started flowing towards Tamil Nadu. And there are many, many holy places, hundreds and thousands of holy places on the banks of Kaveri, and especially Srirangam, Ranganathji, then Tanjavur Shivji temple, and also Kumbakonam temple. There are hundreds of such holy places, and she also helps in agriculture, hundreds and thousands of acres of land, and then purifies practically all Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and her tributaries also in Kerala. So in this way, this is the glory of Kaveri. Then comes fifth is Sindhu. Sindhu flows from, her name also is in the different Puranas and Shastras and Rigvedas, also mentions about the Sindhu, that she is a purifier of all the sinful living entities, and she flows mainly in Pakistan. The sixth is Ganga, because today is a Ganga Puja, so we'll also discuss a little bit about Ganga Mai. Ganga Mai is called in all the Shastras like Patita Pavani. Lord Shiva says, especially in Kali Yuga, Ganga Mai is so merciful. She delivers everyone. Lord Shiva says that even if someone doesn't get chance to visit Ganga Mai, or doesn't get chance to take a bath in Ganga Mai, simply by chanting Ganga, Ganga, Ganga 100 times. This is Shiva says in the Shastra. Simply by chanting Ganga, Ganga 100 times, it is equivalent to taking bath in Ganga. This is Mother Ganga's special mercy. She is called River of Life, and she is a Charanamrita of Lord Krishna. She flows from the lotus feet of Krishna, and therefore Lord Shiva, he holds Mother Ganga in his jata, and he is called Gangadhar, one who holds Ganga in his jata. So Ganga Mai, she starts from Gomukha Gangotri, and then from there she starts flowing. Then her first floor is called Bhagirathi. As she flows ahead, there is one more river, Alakananda. She also merges Bhagirathi at Devaprayag. Before even meeting Alakananda to Bhagirathi, Mandakini meets Alakananda, and then Alakananda and Bhagirathi, they have a joint together at Devaprayag, and later on it becomes Gangamai. So from there she comes to Rishikesh, Haridwar, and Uttarakhand, and then other places. So in this way, Gangamai. Then there are other rivers they also meet, like Gandaki. She flows in Nepal. She also merges in Ganga just before Patna, Bihar. So in this way, ahead, like in West Bengal and Bihar, especially in Patna, Ganga is so huge, at least 6 to 7 kilometers width. That is the size of Ganga Mai. So one time when Srila Prabhupada went to London, so he is, deliberately went to see river Thames, because he was saying that when we were a child, in the school, all these British teachers, they would tell so much glory about river Thames. So then he said, okay, I want to see in London. So he went there. After seeing the river, he said, this is just a puny river. If you see Mother Ganga, you will understand what the river means. So anyway, Mother Ganga is so huge and glorious. Prabhupada also writes in one of the purport that taking bath in Ganga is not just internally purifying, it's also externally purifying. One who takes bath in Ganga regularly, he becomes immune to all diseases. A person who regularly takes bath in Ganga, he becomes immune to all the diseases. And what is the internal purification? Even if the person is very, very sinful, a Nastic, atheist, but still slowly by taking bath in Ganga, he starts developing some affection towards God. Amazing. Internal blessings are, the person starts developing affection for Krishna. And then how Mother Ganga appeared in this world, like today's Ganga Mata's appearance. There was one king, Amshumana. He had a son, Dilip. And Dilip's son was Bhagirath. So Bhagirath wanted to give liberation, salvation to his forefathers. So therefore he wanted to bring Ganga Mai to this earth planet. Before that his father Dilip, he also tried, but he didn't get the success. Before that he left his body. So then Bhagirath, he really was very determined. So he tried his best. He performed a severe austerities tapasya. And then Lord Brahma appeared. Then Lord Brahma gave him benediction, okay, Ganga will come with you. But then Mother Ganga said, my dear child, there is no problem to coming with you. But who can withstand my force, my waves? My current is so strong, if I directly hit on the earth planet, it will crush into pieces. So then what to do? So then Bhagiratha went to Shiva. He started again doing tapasya, performing severe austerities to please Shiva. So Shiva was pleased and very happily he agreed. Oh yes, why not? Ganga is a Charanamrita. So then Ganga Mai, she traveled through all the different planetary systems, also to the pole star, Dhruva. And then finally, when she hit on this earth planet, before that Shiva held her in his jata and very gently released her on the earth. Otherwise the earth would have crushed. So when she was released at Gomukha and Gomukha and what is the second name? And Godavari, she is also Ganga. Because from his jata, Shiva's jata only Godavari appeared. So Godavari and Ganga, there is no difference. So in this way, when Ganga appeared just to not only deliver all these Anshuman and then Bhagiratha's forefathers, but to deliver all the living entities of this Kali Yuga. And especially for a Gaudiya Sampradaya, Ganga is so special. Lord Krishna performed pastimes in Vrindavan Gokul on the banks of Jamuna, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes on the bank of Ganga. Ganga was so dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, practically all the devotees you will find 24 hours they were on the banks of Ganga. While doing Harinam Sankirtan on the banks of Ganga, studying Shastras on the bank of Ganga, discussion of any topics on the bank of Ganga, and then taking baths morning, afternoon, evening. So practically the whole Navadip Mayapur, all the people's their activities were only surrounded by our Mother Ganga. So in this way, Mother Ganga actually, she had the desire. When she saw Lord Krishna performing pastimes in Jamuna, she also expressed that desire. So Krishna fulfilled her desire and gave her chance to serve him in Navadip Mayapur Dham. Mahaprabhu, actually Sridhar Kolavecha, although he was so poor, he had absolutely no question of wealth. He had no furniture, he had nothing. But still, whatever he would earn, half of the benefit or the last income, he would use it in Ganga Mai's service. And always Mahaprabhu would argue with Sridhar Kolavecha. So one time Mahaprabhu went to Sridhar and he said, Sridhar, you are worshipping this Ganga. Whatever the glories are there of Ganga, that is because of me. Sridhar became very nervous. He said, previously you were just arguing with me, but nowadays you have become very arrogant. You are even comparing Ganga and you are saying that you are the source of Ganga. So Mahaprabhu said, yes, I am the source of Ganga. But of course, because of the Yogamaya potency of Mahaprabhu, Sridhar would not understand. When Mahaprabhu Chaitanya showed his Mahaprakash Lila, then he understood, oh yes, you are the source of Mother Ganga. So all these pastimes would take place on the Mother Ganga. One time Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, he went to Paramanand Puri's mutt. And there was an intimate discussion going on between Paramanand Puri and Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu suddenly saw the river, the well of Paramanand Puri. So Mahaprabhu asked, how is the water of this well? So he said, Mahaprabhu will become very dirty, very muddy. It's not for use, it's not useful. Then Mahaprabhu said, okay. Then he prayed to Jagannath, my Jagannath, please, if you wish, let the Ganga Mai merge and enter into this well. And next day morning, all the devotees' amazement, they saw the water was crystal clear. Mother Ganga had appeared in Paramanand Puri's well. So in this way, Ganga Maya was always there to serve Mahaprabhu. And the last river is, of course there are many glories, but we want to cover all the 7 rivers. The 7th is Jamuna. Jamuna Mai, she is the eternal associate of Krishna. She is always residing in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan. But when she appears in this material world, she accepts a father and mother and also brothers. So she appeared as a Surya Putri. Father is Surya and mother is Sandhya. And she has, there are total 5 brothers and sisters. From Sandhya and Surya, Yama and Yami. Yamaraj and Surya Putri Yamuna, they are the real brothers. And from Surya and Chaya, 2 more brothers, like Shani and Tapati river, which flows in Gujarat. Tapati, Tapi, especially Tapati. Tapati is a sister of Yamuna, and also Shani Dev and Yamaraj, they are brothers. And one more, Savitri. So in this way, Surya has 5 children. So Yamuna Mai, she is very dear to Yamaraj and Shani Dev. Shastra says those who serve Yamuna, they will be freed from the clutches of Yamaraj and from the wrath of Shani Dev. It's the best way to serve Shani and best way to serve Yamaraj is to serve Yamuna Mai. So, Yamuna Mai, actually her water is not just a simple water. Acharya writes, it's a honey of Krishna Prema. Yamuna Mai's water is not just a water. It's honey of Krishna Prema. And therefore, wherever she flows, she just donates or offers honey of Krishna Prema to everyone. There are many hundreds of glories. We can go on speaking hours and hours about Jamuna Mai. There are so many pastimes happening on the banks of Jamuna. She is the most intimate associate in Vrindavan. Govardhan, Jamuna, the gopis, cows, and Brajadhuli. They are the most important personalities in Vrindavan. Jamuna, she starts from Yamunotri, Himalaya, then she flows Haryana, then Uttar Pradesh, and then Delhi, finally comes to Vrindavan. But if you see her flow from Yamunotri till Vrindavan, it's very straight. She's so eager to come to Vrindavan. And as soon as she reaches Vrindavan, and then if you see her, the journey or see her track, how she is flowing, is like a snake. She doesn't want to go out of Brajdham. So therefore she is like a snake size, She just always done. Wherever Krishna goes, she just follows Krishna. So Jamuna Mai, she's so glad to serve all the devotees. Just like a Govardhan is Haridas Varya. Similarly, Jamuna Mai, she also serves all the devotees. And especially she loves to serve cows and the calves and the bulls. Therefore all her banks are covered with luscious green grass, very fragrant and tasty green grass, so that the cows and the bulls, they will be happy. So our Acharya writes that Vrindavan is a goddess, Devi, Vrindavan forest. And Jamuna is like a black, what do you call it? Anjan, mascara, black mascara. So Yamuna Mai, because she is a blackish, bluish, so therefore she is like a black mascara around the eyes of Vrinda Devi, Vrindavan forest. She is also considered like a west belt of Vrindavan. So she is covered, she flows everywhere in Vrindavan Dham. And just like the ladies, they wear Mangal Sutra around their neck. So Yamuna Mai also wears a necklace. And her necklace is all the cows, the bulls and the calves, they are grazing on both the shore. So that is her necklace. The cows, the bulls and the calves, that is her necklace. And actually all the evening pastimes, night pastimes, all are happening on the banks of Jamuna. Early in the morning, Krishna's that Yoga Pitha, main pastime Leela is at Nandagaon, Gupta Kund, Vrinda Kund. In the afternoon, it is at Radha Kund. All the mainly afternoon Leela happens in Radha Kund, and especially the night pastimes, evening night pastimes, all happens on the banks of river Jamuna. Therefore, she is always in ecstasy. Sometimes the Acharya writes, they ask Yamuna Mai, that they say that, how is that all your, in your water, all the lotuses, they are growing in red color. So the Yamuna Mai says, it is because the whole night Krishna was with all the gopis and they were doing Jalakrida. So they didn't sleep. I also didn't sleep. So whole night we were awake. So therefore my eyes are red. So all these red eyes are represented by these red lotuses. So one Acharya writes that, how is that your, generally the Ganga river's color is white, and then red color is